Let's get something straight from the start, you would not stand a chance against a real medieval crusader in hand-to-hand combat. Not 5 minutes, not one, we're talking seconds. That's not an insult, it's just reality. The average crusader wasn't some ragtag soldier with poor hygiene and rusty armor. He was a war-forged machine, hardened by battle, starvation, disease, and relentless training in the deadliest conditions imaginable. You might hit the gym 3 times a week. Maybe you're a black belt. Perhaps you've seen 300 more than once and think you know how ancient warfare works. But understand this, Crusaders weren't fit, they were feral. Their training wasn't for aesthetics. It was for killing. They didn't swing weapons for reps, they swung to survive. A typical Crusader wore up to 60 to 70 pounds of armor and still marched 15 to 20 miles a day through brutal terrain. Could you run one block wearing a 60-pound weighted vest without passing out? Probably not. And yet, for them, that was just a Tuesday. The sword a Crusader carried wasn't a flimsy prop. It was a steel instrument of death, often weighing 2.5 to 4 pounds, perfectly balanced for killing efficiency. While you're complaining about blisters from your dumbbells, they were training to slice through bone and armor with surgical precision. You think you know pain. The Crusaders lived it. Blisters, trench foot, infected wounds, cracked ribs, broken knuckles, and they kept going. There were no painkillers, no showers, no trainers, just blood, mud, and prayer. Speaking of prayer, their mindset was terrifying. Crusaders believed they were chosen by God. That they had a divine right, no, duty, to kill. That kind of conviction doesn't break. It charges at you, full speed, with a sword and doesn't flinch. Let's talk combat. Modern fighting is about points and rules. MMA, boxing, jiu-jitsu, they're technical, strategic, and safe by comparison. Medieval warfare was raw savagery. No weight class, no referees, no taps. If a Crusader got you on the ground, he didn't wait for the bell. He ended it. Crusaders didn't fear death. Many welcomed it. The afterlife wasn't a mystery to them, it was a promised reward. So while you're trying not to get hit, they're trying to kill you with the cold efficiency of someone who already made peace with dying. Their shields alone were weapons. Heavy, reinforced with iron, used to bash skulls or break limbs. You don't parry a Crusader's shield strike, you wake up in the next life. Even their helmets were designed for psychological warfare. When a Crusader charged, steel mask gleaming, war cries echoing, he wasn't just attacking your body, he was breaking your spirit. That kind of fear paralyzes modern minds. Most people today don't even know how to hold a sword properly, let alone fight with one. A Crusader trained from childhood in blade work, spear use, grappling, and horseback combat. That's years of muscle memory forged in actual war, not martial arts class on Tuesday nights. Let's assume, generously, you managed to grab a weapon. What would you even do with it? Swing wildly. That's not combat, that's suicide. The moment you overextend, the Crusader breaks your arm, buries a dagger in your ribs, and moves on to the next target. But I'm faster, you say. No, you're not. A Crusader wasn't just strong, he was conditioned. Agile, unpredictable. They didn't fight in tournaments. They fought in sieges, ambushes, chaotic battles where one wrong move meant death. And don't think firearms would save you in a melee situation. You're not John Wick. If a Crusader closes the distance before you reload, which he would, you're done. You drop your pistol and pray it scares him more than it insults him. Nutrition. Crusaders survived on stale bread, dried meat, and water filled with bacteria. And yet they grew strong. Their bodies were calloused, scarred, and built like tanks. Meanwhile, we complain when our protein shake isn't cold enough. Pain tolerance today, low. Pain tolerance then, astronomical. They walked on fractured legs. Fought with arrows still embedded in their limbs. Some even died days after being fatally wounded, because they wouldn't stop fighting. Weapons training was brutal. Wooden swords, full contact sparring, live steel in some cases. Injuries weren't accidents, they were part of the curriculum. You don't train safely for a world where everything is trying to kill you. Even their warhorses were monsters. Massive beasts bred for strength, speed, and aggression. If a Crusader charged you on horseback, you weren't dodging, you were getting trampled, skewered, or both. They didn't fight alone, either. Crusaders were part of disciplined units, drilled in formation fighting and battlefield tactics. You've played Call of Duty. That doesn't translate to spear walls and cavalry charges. Let's talk about mental toughness. A Crusader could watch his comrades get torn apart, push through blood-soaked battlefields, and keep going. The average person today spirals from a bad text or Wi-Fi outage. Even if you trained for years, replicating their conditions would be nearly impossible. No modern person lives the life of daily starvation, unfiltered violence, and unwavering religious zealotry like they did. Could you fight for hours without food? Could you survive days of marching, bleeding from open wounds, armor chafing skin raw, and still pick up your sword and charge? That's what they did, repeatedly. We've grown comfortable, soft. Our ancestors weren't perfect, far from it, but they were hard. The world they lived in demanded it. The Crusader wasn't just a warrior. He was the product of a world where strength meant survival and hesitation meant death. So no, you wouldn't win. You wouldn't go down swinging. You wouldn't have a shot. You'd hesitate for one moment, and that's all it would take. A flash of steel, a bone-crushing blow, and it's over. Game, set, history lesson. Respect the past. Don't romanticize it, but understand it. The Crusader wasn't superhuman, he was the natural result of a brutal world. And in that world, you wouldn't be a hero. You'd be a cautionary tale. So next time you watch a medieval movie and think, I could take that guy, remember, you'd last seconds against a Crusader. Seriously. Would you like a video script version of this, a dramatic voiceover version, or social media breakdowns, e.g., for YouTube?